So Punch's most recent release, Nothing Lasts, dropped in 2011 on 625, Disco Swelga, and Death Wish Inc. The album showcases influences across varied genres and niches of hardcore. How do you approach the writing process for Punch differently than you do for, say, like Living Eyes or Loma Prieta? And what are some of those differences, if you don't mind?
Yeah, definitely. With Punch, I would say that Keith is sort of the primary songwriter.
Okay.
He's just an absolute genius on guitar, like the way that he puts parts together.
Sure.
He always comes to the table with almost a complete song, and then people sort of add to it or change like little parts to it. But for the most part, he comes with a full song already written, and the guy can just write riffs. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Awesome. So you guys chose to spread that release out over 3 labels. Was that something that you guys had planned before releasing it, or is that just kind of how the release developed? Like, why the decision to go with 3 labels as opposed to 1?
Well, pretty much every Punch release has been on my label, Disco Swelga.
Okay.
Just because we like to have a lot of control over how the record is presented, how it's distributed, and how it's manufactured. You know, those are all things that are really important to us.
Sure.
And like from the beginning, Max Ward, 65 Max, was super supportive of us, and he had put out other bands that some of us had played him before.
Okay.
And so he was very interested in Punch, and so the plan was always going to be that like all the records were going to be 65 Disco's co-releases.
Okay.
And then I sort of met Trey McCarthy, who runs Death Wish,
Sure.
through him distributing our records.
Okay.
And he was also very interested in Punch, and I just kind of proposed the idea that they take a bigger role in distributing it. And I think that we sort of decided that it would work if we did sort of a 3-way split, which logistically ended up being a little bit more complicated than I would have liked to have been.
Okay.
But in terms of distribution, I think that the Death Wish label being involved really helped a lot.
Awesome.
And sort of helped us be heard by, I think, people that otherwise may not have heard us.
Sure. That's awesome. So how much time do you actually spend like running and doing things for the label? Because I know you're obviously busy touring with multiple bands. Do you have like a network of people that like help you run the label, like when you're not at home, or how active are you with it?
Yeah, it's been really tough finding like a balance in my like musical career versus like the business side of the label.
Sure.
Yeah, I have one person in particular that is back home that helps me while I'm on tour. She right now is like running the mail order and helps me answer email, all the kinds of things that I get super backed up on when I'm gone for 2-3 months at a time.
Sure. Now, are you able to do music full time, or like when you get back home, do you kind of hang up the drumsticks, mow the lawn, go to work, or what's daily life look like for you?
Daily life right now and for the past year has been tour life. I've pretty much been on tour, like between Loma, Punch, and filling in on drums in Ceremony. I've been on tour full time since August, so it's been almost the entire year at this point, and we still have plans to tour like through January pretty much. So yeah, this is the only thing I'm doing right now, and so far it's sustainable. I mean, it's pretty hard, like on my body and like my mental health, but
sure.
But I like playing drums, and that the physical act of playing drums is rewarding enough for me to continue to do this as much as I'm doing it.
Right on. Awesome. Now, obviously, you have very energetic live sets, a lot of blast beats, like D beats. It's like a lot of rocking stuff going on. Do you have to prepare any differently? Because obviously you're pulling double duty since Living Eyes have hooked up with Punch on the tour. Like, what are your like pre-game preparations look like? Do you have to like stretch? Like, what do you do? Any yoga, anything like that?
I do the kind of standard stretches. I have like some rudiments that I like to work out with before we play. And I had gotten into this thing where I would sort of jog for endurance, and I thought like, oh, it's really kind of a safe thing for me to do, because I like to try to stay away from risky activities on tour and like before tour. Like people are always like, oh, let's go to this rope swing, this like homemade rope swing, and like jump into like 3 feet of water in a river. I'm like, no, that's not really for me. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna get into jogging so that I can get some cardiovascular exercise, so I can play these like energetic sets. And actually broke a bone in my foot a couple weeks ago, maybe like a month ago now, jogging.
Okay.
I'm trying to do something really safe, and then I got super hurt.
Right.
So my pre-show like workout routine has been very light.
Gotcha.
Since then.
Gotcha. Right on. So how has this tour specifically been treating you? I know obviously Punch has been doing some dates, and then Living Eyes just hopped on. Like, how long is Punch going to be out on the road with this circuit of shows that you have coming up?
This tour is 18 shows, and I think for the last 5, this was the first night that Living Eyes joined up.
Right.
And just the last 5 shows is the double duty set, and then this tour ends on a Wednesday. Thursday I fly to Sweden, and then the ceremony starts on Friday. So I'm just perpetually on tour.
Right on. Very cool. Very cool. So what does Punch have on the plate for like the rest of 2012 as we head into 2013? Anything new coming for Punch this year, or any more tours for Punch?
Yeah, we have another tour set up. It hasn't been announced yet. I really don't know if I should say, but
okay.
I could say it's happening in Europe. It's not happening here. We're touring with a very cool band.
Awesome.
I really want to just like tell you guys.
Okay. Right on.
Should I?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go for it.
You can like edit this out or something.
Yeah.
I get in trouble, but we're doing like a European tour with Megan Approach.
Oh, righteous.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So we're really stoked about that.
Awesome. How did you link up with those guys?
I don't exactly know how it happened. We just kind of got an email out of the blue one day that said, "Hey, you guys want to do this?" Like, are you serious?
Awesome.
Serious. So Keith got the time off of work, and it looks like it's gonna happen.
Awesome. Very cool. We'll definitely look forward to hearing more about that as the tour develops and dates are announced.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, I'd really like to thank you for taking a few minutes with Below the Scene readers, and we look forward to keeping up with your many future endeavors. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Awesome.